Hi, I'm Sophie Passola, in-house makeup artist at Niré Beauty. Today I'm going to be showing you how to use the amazing 139 Glow-and-Go Kabuki brush. And this is a great brush. It's synthetic bristles, so you can use it with either powders, creams, liquids, and also the shape of it makes it really versatile. It's quite flat on the top, which means you can blend large areas, but it also has this angled side, so you can use it for more precise work too. What I really love about this, because I travel a lot and I do my makeup on the go, is that it comes with this protective sheath so that whenever it's in your makeup bag, the bristles are protected. It's the perfect brush if you're always traveling. So let's get into it. The silky bristles of the 139 are great for applying any cream or liquid products. So I'm going to use it to apply my primer first of all. So I just like to pat my primer over the high points of the face. This is a kind of illuminating primer. So if you start there, it means that the light hits you where you want that kind of glow. And then I'm going to take the flat top of the brush and just blend that primer in, and it gives you a really silky smooth base, so that when you then go on to put your foundation, you've got the perfect canvas. So if, like me, you are always on the go and you like to travel, I really love to use this brush to apply my foundation. And I'm using a stick foundation, but you can do this with liquid, just put it on the back of your hand first. So I just put this where I need the most coverage. For me, I tend to get a little bit red through the center of my face. And then take the flat top again, wherever you want to blend a large area, use the flat top of the brush. And you're almost just patting that product in. Don't rub it around too much because you don't want to create any extra redness on the skin or to move the primer around. So just pat it and you can gradually build that sort of coverage up. If you want more coverage, you could actually put the product straight onto the top of the brush and then pat it into the skin. If you want less, you might just want to do more of a buffing motion and work it to the outside of the face for more sheer coverage. So I usually like to use a little bit of concealer on top of my foundation product, and I usually like that just underneath the eyes, a little around the nose, and sometimes around the mouth where there's a little bit of redness. And then again, even though this brush is larger than you might normally use for a concealer brush, if you're on the go, it's super easy just to have one brush. And actually, because it has an angled edge, you can do all of this precision work very easily. So blend out the under eye area. You're just kind of angling that brush upwards and using a really, really gentle patting motion. It's a very silky, soft bristle, so it's perfect for around the eyes. And if you want to, you can just go in with your finger and make sure that there's no areas where you can see that concealer sitting on the skin, because we want a supernatural finish. I like to set my makeup with a little bit of powder. It tends to give it much more longevity, and it just means that the face overall looks much smoother. So I'm going to use my 139 brush with a little bit of pressed powder. If you're super oily, you can use this all over, but I prefer just to set the center part of my face where I tend to get a bit shiny throughout the day. And I'm just pressing that into those kind of slightly shiny areas. And then when you have it where you want it, you can just buff it outwards to make sure that you can't see any of the powder sitting on the surface of the skin. Okay, so now that we have the face looking uniform and nice and smooth, we want to add a little bit of warmth and dimension into the skin. So if you love to contour, you can go ahead and do that. I'm just going to warm the skin up with a little bit of bronzer. So the easiest way to do that with this brush, again, is to use the angle. The angle's your best friend whenever you want to do anything precise. So I'm just taking a little product, tapping off the excess, and then I'm just popping it underneath the cheekbone. So just this kind of area where you might want to start building a little bit of shade and warmth. And then as soon as you want to blend that away, flip your brush to the flat side again and buff it into the skin. Easy. So now that we've built some warmth and dimension into the skin, I think it's really nice to add a little pop of a rosy flush, and you could do coral. I'm going to do pink because I think that works best with my skin. And I'm actually going to be using a cream blush, which works really well with this brush, but equally if you love powder, go for it. That will work really well too. So again, just place the colour where you want the biggest intensity, where you want the brightest colour. So for me, that's right on the apple of the cheek. And then you can start to blend it away. And you can just keep building that intensity so that however bright you want your blush, go for it. I like my blush quite bright. I'm a big fan of highlighter all day, every day, so that's the next step. Any brush needs to be able to do highlighter in my opinion. So I'm just taking a little, again, on the top angle of that brush, and just stipple it anywhere where you want the light to hit and get a really kind of bright look. So for me, that's the tops of the cheekbones. Bridge of the nose. Skip this step if you're super oily. And if you want, you can add a little on the temples. The trick with highlighting is to know where not to highlight. So put it anywhere that you want the light to hit, but don't put it all over, because if you highlight everywhere, you're highlighting nowhere. And finally, we're going to create a really sculpted brow with this. Just kidding. The brush does have its limits, but that's just 7 ways that we can use this brush. We'd love to know how many more you can think of. So tag us in your Instagram pictures, and you can follow me if you want some artist inspiration.